Hello guys. I just came back from the movie theater. I saw The Last Jedi. This is going to be, I guess my review and my opinion about it. This was one of the worst piles of shit that I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it made The Force Awakens look better. Like, you know that feeling when you're like cringing inside the theater seat because it's like, you just try to like cringe further and further and further, and there's like no place to go because you're all cringed out. So that's basically the level that I reached with The Last Jedi, because the storyline is so bad. Like, it is now officially over. Okay, there is no more Star Wars. It is 90% Disney infused with some Star Wars elements. So how do I even start this review? I guess I'm just gonna. Well, I mean, the movie starts optimistically. I mean, the big order ships come in. I'm like, damn, this dreadnought. Fuck yeah, it looks pretty cool. Okay, I can deal with this. But it quickly turns, cringy. You get the social justice immediately slapped in your face. You have the resistance pilots, which is a girl, a black person, an obese white person, and then later in the movie you see an obese black person because we don't want to leave those out. No, 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 no. So yeah, I mean, basically the First Order attacks and the escapes. That's it. And we see Poe doing heroics. So, oh yeah, by the way, Raylo fam, I'm on your side, but it's not happening. It's Damaray. It's Damaray. Like, they literally just. Everything you saw in The Force Awakens, it doesn't count. It's bullshit. It doesn't count. We're going to take those seeds and we're going to rip them out of the earth and just sprinkle new seeds. I guess they really wanted to go for the, ha, gotcha, bitch, type of thing. You thought it was gonna be Raylo, turns out it's Poe. Oh yeah, it's so funny, man. You got me, Disney, but unfortunately that's not how you make stories, because it's not just Raylo, it's everything. This movie, I feel for the actors, I feel for the, oh god, like, yeah, I mean, so basically it's just an entire movie of nothing happening. I mean, the plot doesn't really advance. Like, the resistance is fleeing from the order. And meanwhile, Rey is on her island, basically following Luke around like, hey, will you train me? And Luke is like, no, I don't wanna. Until he eventually gets a vision from, like, another nostalgia piece of shit. Like, he gets this R2D2 shows him Leia. Obi-Wan Kenobi, help me. That is the only time you see R2D2. I shit you not, guys. That is the only time you see R2D2. That's it. Fuck this guy. C3PO. Who the fuck is he? Like, you don't even see him. It's like he has one line. Wow. It's like, oh my fucking god. This movie is all about trying to sell fucking Oscar Isaac. Dude, I love you, Oscar, but I never really looked at Oscar as a guy who fits Star Wars. I looked at him as, who the fuck is this guy? He's just some stupid pilot. It's like, oh, nice flying, Poe. Yay, good job. Oh, amazing. Yeah, but it's like the story doesn't advance. Like, I had this notion, like, when you look at Force Awakens, okay, I watched Force Awakens maybe 5-6 times. Okay, I fell asleep a couple times as well. But, I saw things. Like, Rey was like this girl headed for darkness. She was basically super powerful, but she grew up in isolation. She had this gift, which would be like, oh, wow, I can do stuff now. I can mind control people. That would be a natural evolution to, yeah, how can I, become powerful? And I also, so I kind of assumed that she was going to go to the dark side. I also kind of assumed that it was Rey Palpatine. By the way, her parents' name is not resolved. Don't be surprised if in episode 9 they're gonna be like, oh, she's actually a Skywalker. Ah, yeah, Luke actually had a daughter sometime, because they just like to flip the coin for no reason. There's no coherence. That's not how you write books. That's not how you make trilogies. You move forward with what you have. You plant seeds, the seeds become saplings, and the saplings become trees. And at the end, people are like, wow, that's a beautiful tree. It's like they go on this journey. You plant seeds. There's this big reason that online, on YouTube, everywhere, on Tumblr. I don't really go to Tumblr, but whatever. You see all these Raylo vids, right? You see all these ship vids. Now, I'm on the Raylo boat. I think based on what I saw in Force Awakens, I saw, wow, this could be an epic romance. And the way that I saw Kylo Ren was like, basically, this dude is breaking free from the dark side, dude. He's gonna like defect in Act 1. This dude is becoming like a full hardcore Jedi, and Rey is just sort of like headed for a downslope. And, he's going to like save her, and it's going to be this classic tale of a man elevating the human condition. But no. Now we get this orchestrated feminist bullshit tripe, and I know people will downvote me for saying social justice, but it is a problem. It's a big problem in this movie. And the biggest casualty, it's not just Kylo, who's basically now, he's a bad guy and we're going to kill him in episode 9. So yeah, rip Kylo, bye-bye. It's the biggest casualty is actually Finn, because oh my god, Finn, poor Finn. It is so disgusting how they treat this person. Like, I mean, he's token black guy. Okay, you sort of know. I think he knows. Everybody knows. Lando was token black guy, but Lando was a cool motherfucker. You were like, if Lando banged Leia, I would be like, I don't really condone interracial relationships, but I allow it because it's Lando. He's a cool dude. But Finn is just a buffoon, and he's like comic relief, and he's treated like shit. So basically, he meets this girl. He wants to like defect. He wants to like run away from the resistance because he's like, oh, I'm gonna go get Rey, blah, for no reason. Like, the story doesn't advance, guys. Keep this in mind. Keep this in the back of your mind as I review this. So he wants to defect, and hey, there's Rose. And immediately, like, Rose sees, oh, you want to defect? And she stuns him with, like, a baton. Like, excuse me? With, like, a police baton, but, like, space police baton. It's like, excuse me? Did you just... What? Like, they just freaking destroyed this man. Like they just deman him. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Finn, you're funny and shit, but just know your place. And it's below the 5-foot tall Asian girl. Yes. Now, I already mentioned Poe's heroics, but Poe's heroics have a limit, though. He does get, like, slapped in the face a little bit by Leia. And, Admiral Holdo. Who the fuck is Admiral Holdo? Well, she's a bitch that shows up after Leia goes Mary Poppins in space. Honestly, she's just there to, like, replace Leia. And the truth is that Leia in this movie, I felt like she was getting her groove back. Like in Force Awakens, she was like a stiff wooden corpse. You're like, holy shit, this is like garbage acting. This woman is an invalid. She's fucking high. But in this movie, I was like, well, I mean, Leia's looking a little bit better, a little bit more spry, and she's starting to get her groove a little bit back. But it's all gone to waste. Because, what happens is another First Order attack. Apparently they were tracked. They tracked the fleeing ships. And, Kylo Ren shows up in his super awesome jet fighter. And, apparently he doesn't shoot the bridge, but someone else does. And then Leia just fucking floats in space, and she uses the Force to float back into the ship, which is just cringe. That's another thing. The Force treated like fucking shit in this movie. It's like, yeah. It's so cringe, man. Like, the Force. Like, they try to, like, deepen it a little bit, but it's so poor. It's like, I honestly prefer George Lucas just saying midichlorians, dude. I mean, that was a shitty solution. But at least it was a solution, like George Lucas never, that's the problem with the Force. It's a magic system. And in fantasy books, You have worked out magic systems. You have rules. You have limits. You have possibilities. Um, you have things. You have different things. Just I've been reading Brandon Sanderson. I mean, he has some pretty cool magic systems that are grounded on Earth. The Force isn't like that. It's just they sort of like make shit up as they go. Now we can basically have Skype calls via the Force. It's like, oh hey Kylo, oh hey Ray, would you join me in the dark side? Kylo, you should really come back to the light. And Kylo's like, nah, I'm cool here. It's so stupid, dude. It's like I said, Raylo, the romance isn't there. There is no romance in this movie, boys. There's nothing. The acting is just. I mean, I'm not gonna blame the actors because the script is so shit. Okay, I feel for Daisy Ridley. I can see that Daisy has progressed since The Force Awakens. When I saw her in The Force Awakens, I was like, holy shit, get this woman off the screen. She's garbage. But now I'm like, yeah, she's getting better at it. I think she's getting a little bit more comfortable with cameras around her and shit. But she's so lost, and I feel for the girl. I really do. I feel for her. You can see it in her eyes that she's like, what the fuck is this script? And the same goes for freaking Luke, man. I mean, poor freaking Luke. Poor Mark Hamill. Now, I understand, Harrison Ford taking the money, taking his $70 million because he's dumb as beetroot. I understand that they can sort of cajole Carrie Fisher because she's, kind of a simpleton. But Mark, you always struck me as a sensible human being. You always struck me as like, a dude who's like, you're not a genius. I mean, let's face it. I think, I'm probably smarter than you. But, you're like a sensible human being. If a script is shit, the script is shit. Like, it is what it, like, why didn't you put your foot down? Why didn't you just say that, holy shit, this is crap. This is totally not Luke. I mean, we have a cringy scene where you see Luke Skywalker raising his lightsaber to strike down his sleeping nephew, sleeping Ben Solo. I sense the darkness in him. He must die. Wow, that's wow. What happened to the dude with the blue eyes that was like, I sense the good in you, Father? What happened to that guy who would, carry his dying corpse back to Endor? What happened to that boy? What happened? And we have another cringy scene, like right at the end with the force projection. Yes, I kid you not. Luke is on Acto, but he's force projecting himself on crates, which is, it's like I said, it sounds like they're going places in this movie, but nothing happens, okay? It's basically just the resistance is fleeing from the order, and they're doing it in space, and they're doing it on crates at the end. That's it. The plot does not advance. And then there's this code-breaking bullshit episode in Canto Bight with Finn and Rose, just to give them something to do. But okay, I was talking about Luke and the Force projection bullshit. Oh my god. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing canonically? What have we done to deserve this, Disney? I mean, it's officially over. Like, this was brutal. This was like heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking for Mark. It was heartbreaking for me. Like, it was heartbreaking for any thinking adult, okay? And this movie is really catered towards the lowest of the lowest of the lowest denominator. And literally, like, honestly, children will not like this because it's like, but extremely small children. Like, when you say the term children, there's children and there's children, which are basically like miniature adults, except they're a little bit more stupid. They don't know as much. Everything like basically ages 8 and up, I don't think is going to like this movie because they can see that it's a farce. It's a farce. They are taking a giant steaming dump on the brand. We are now entering, yeah, it's over. I mean, strike 1, Force Awakens, strike 2, Rogue One, strike 3, this one. It's over. It's officially over. Kathleen Kennedy and the story group at LucasArts, you are absolutely despicable people. And we had it. We fucking had it. You look at The Force Awakens. We had all the makings for what could have been a fucking amazing, epic, insane movie. Like literally, like the things that were set in stone. Freaking Kylo Ren redeeming himself, like badass style. You know what I mean? Freaking Luke. And then basically teaming up with freaking Luke to save like Kylo, to save like Rey, who fucking goes to Snoke. Like you had all the makings to progress the plot. And by the way, Snoke is the best role in this movie. Holy shit, Andy Serkis. You're a fucking god, man. I would watch 3 hours of Snoke nonstop, dude. But unfortunately, you guessed it, Snoke gets killed. Snoke gets killed in an extremely cringy scene by, Kylo Ren, who assumes the mantle of the Supreme Leader. Oh, here's the big bad now, the big bad that you're totally not afraid of, who is literally just a whiny teenager. Like, I never really looked at him as a bad guy. I'm sorry I didn't look at Adam Driver as a bad guy. But, like, Snoke was so good, man. And the material is right in your fucking face. The music is Plagueis. Revenge of the Sith has one of the most meme scenes of all times. It's a meme, like oh, Palpatine. Have you ever heard a tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No. Well, I thought not. It's not something the Jedi would teach you. He was so powerful and wise. You know the story. Here you had it, dude, like a badass motherfucker that can cheat death. And he's not, and now it's just, holy shit, he's dead. Holy fuck, dude, Snoke just got wasted like a bitch. For what? He was the best part of it. He was the best part in this movie. He was awesome. He was so fucking awesome, dude. He was like better than Palpatine. He had that meme quality, He had, Palpatine is like a walking meme. Don't get me wrong, but this guy is like meme plus. It's like, wow, holy shit! And now he's gone. It's over. It's over. What are we gonna do in the next movie? We're just gonna go kill Kylo Ren, the gang girl, the girl gang, the transgender gang, the purple hair gang, all the people. We have to have a black person, a black obese person, an ugly person, a person with purple hair. We have to have all these weird people. And so, yeah, the social justice messaging in this movie is very, very abundant, unfortunately, especially from Rose. Like, this bitch, like I said, they have this scene on Canto Bight, which serves no purpose. It's basically like, oh, how can we stop the First Order ships from chasing us? Oh, let's go to Canto Bight. There's this code breaker. He can hack a code that can stop them from tracking us or something like that. The code breaker is played by, what's his name? Benicio del Toro. Oh my God, so bad. So bad. What the fuck was he trying to do, man? Was he trying to get his Johnny Depp on or something? Because it wasn't working. Like, he was giving this Jamaican French performance with like jittery hands, and it wasn't working. It was so bad. It was cringe. Like, I was just like, ugh, my back hurts from cringing in the seat, It's like, during the code breaking mission in Canto Bight, you go to this casino, Rey gives this speech like, oh, look at these evil people, they're all weapons dealers, and and the animals are being hurt. Oh, and then you see these stupid Fathiers, the space horses, the big space horses. They start, what's the point of them? Like, what's the point? The story isn't advancing. We had essentially a 2-hour teaser trailer in The Force Awakens. And I was like, okay, here it comes. Give it to me, Daddy. Give it to me, Daddy Johnson. And he gives me nothing at all. What a fucking waste of money. This movie is worse than The Force Awakens. I can't believe I'm saying this. Holy shit. Rian Johnson, you are an absolute disgrace. How did you get the blessing for this? What is going on? What is going on at Disney? You had it. You had freaking Rey Palpatine. You had the Prince-Princess dynamic with freaking Reylo. You had fucking Plagueis, huh? You had Plagueis, Darth Plagueis. You had freaking Luke Skywalker ready to kick ass. Grandmaster freaking Luke. It's all gone. It's all completely gone. This is the end of the brand completely. It's over. This movie was 90% Disney, 10% whatever was left. It's over. It is completely and utterly over. I'm baffled at how poor this is written. I can write a better story. You can write a better story. This is like watching the worst episodes of Lost. It's literally like, oh yeah, and then they have this pirate ship surrounded by ice bears, and we're gonna have time warp there. It's like, what? This is worse. This is literally worse. Rey, she continues to marry Sue, basically. And the problem with Mary Sue is that her arc, once again, does not really develop. You can see it. I feel for Daisy Ridley because she's improved. She's improved, but I feel for the girl. I pity her that she has to partake in this. It's like, wow, this is a really bad movie, Daisy. Like, you should have really just said something. I think she has, but it's like, what can you do? What can you do when people that are incompetent make these decisions? I want to know who's responsible for this story. It can't be Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson cannot be this bad. If you are, kill yourself. I don't know the man personally, but I think it has to be Kathleen Kennedy. It has to be, that failed fantasy author, Pablo Hidalgo. What's his name? The one who basically runs the Twitter account. Yeah, that's your job. Twitter bitch for Star Wars because you can't create anything of worth. It has to be, the story group. What is it? Like 4 homosexuals, 2 transgenders, 4 black women or something? 4 never Trumpers. Hey, why not have the next movie? We can perhaps have Finn, break the fourth wall and be like, hey guys, it's John Boyega. I'm glad you're enjoying this movie, but I want to interrupt it for a brief message. You should not vote for Donald Trump because he's a sexist pig. Donald Trump is cancer. Blah, 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 blah. Also, buy loot crates in Battlefront. No, I mean, John Boyega, once again, I feel for the guy. I feel bad. I feel bad for the actors. I was like, okay, I'm ready to hate these people. I'm going to hate the fuck out of these actors if they fuck it up. The script is so bad that you're actually, I just want to give them a hug. I literally want to give Daisy a hug and say, it's okay. I'm crying. I'm like, it's okay. This isn't your fault. You did your best with what they gave you. And it's just, I was looking forward to this movie, man. I really was. So yeah, what else was there to talk about? It seems like you're probably like, oh, he didn't watch the movie. I did, but it's just the story didn't advance. There's not much to talk about. The plot doesn't advance. Like basically, Snoke dies. Ren becomes like the supreme leader, but he's not like, fearful or anything. And Luke dies. Luke dies in the shittiest of ways. He just sort of fades out. I guess it was like, well, you had your screen time. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, the lightsaber fights. You probably want to know about lightsaber fights, right? You think in Star Wars, you think in lightsaber fights. There are none, guys. It's so bad. Force Awakens was better. Like, holy shit. And I don't like Force Awakens. It was so bad. Like, people were saying, oh man, it's this scene in the throne room with Kylo and Rey igniting their sabers. It's insane. No, it's not. It's fucking trash. It looks like shit. It's the worst saber fighting ever. What? Have you even trained, Adam Driver? Have you even worked out, you piece of shit? It's so bad. I feel bad for the actors, man. I mean, it looked so bad. It was so cringy, and just the coordination was so bad, and it was so bad. It was, and then that's it. And then there's another scene where Kylo strikes at the holograph of Luke, and Luke is out of character again. Luke is doing this with his shoulder after he's like bombarded. What the fuck is this bullshit, man? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we creating these stupid little memes? Is this supposed to be cute? This isn't what Luke Skywalker does. Luke Skywalker is a mature person. He's not gonna stand there, bitch, fuck you. I'm gonna kill you. And it's basically like, and even Leia is like, oh, my son is gone. Oh yeah, whatever. You know what? I'll just adopt Poe Dameron now. He's gonna be my new son-in-law, by the way. Get ready for episode 9, guys. We're gonna get the Rey and Poe cringe. Oh yeah, this is so fucking amazing. We are basically breaking the rules because the rules say for a full romance that you need to meet the person in the first movie. This is not the case. I'm just gonna close the door here because there's someone in the elevator. Oh, let me just. There we go. So the rules basically say that you have to have met the person in the first movie to have this complete arc. But once again, Disney is like, you know what? We're gonna break those rules, man. We're just gonna fucking whip some shit up and boom, here's Poe Dameron. We decided to go with Poe. It feels like they're just winging it, man. It feels like they're just writing it on the go. It feels like there's no communication between J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. And I'm sure there's not gonna. It's over. It's over. I'm not gonna go see the next one. Luke is gone, like a bitch, out of character. He had a couple of funny moments, but it was mostly out of character degeneracy, Disney degeneracy. He actually gets his ass kicked by Rey, guys. Let me tell you that. Yes, yes, yes. This is what you're going to see. Prepare to like huddle up in a seat and cringe because Rey is going to beat Luke Skywalker. It's implied that she's stronger. It's implied because women, feminism, man. We can't have this anymore. And yeah, next movie, you know what? You can have her, Poe. Have fun, Oscar Isaac, because you're gonna be made a bitch the entire fucking movie. You're a bitch. Prepare to become a bitch. Just like Finn. Poor Finn. Just like Finn. Finn, another thing, he had this epic moment right at the end. His entire role was garbage. I don't blame him. It's so bad. I don't blame you. John, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, John. You had little to work with. But his role was so fucking shit. And at the end, he has like this suicide impulse, like, oh man, I'm gonna do something heroic here. It's not happening. Guess who stops him? Who rams him out of the sky? Rose. Rose basically takes away his moment. Like, she takes away his manhood. Like, no, you're not allowed to do this. Suicide missions are not okay, Finn. You need to be at home and take care of my kids, motherfucker. I feel very, very embarrassed for the human condition. This is very, very poor. And this is not, art is supposed to elevate the human condition. Movies are supposed to, elevate the human spirit and not, this is just garbage. Stay away from it. This is a social justice shitfest. There's no story. The story does not progress. It's Rey's lost. Daisy Ridley is. I feel for her. I really want to give her. I'm sorry, Daisy. I'm sorry what they did to you. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry, but I'm also like a little bit angry because you shouldn't have done it. You have $30 million in your bank account. You should have just walked the fuck away. Rian Johnson, you're a piece of fucking filth. I hope your kids get fucking leukemia. I mean it, dude. I hope your fucking wife dies. All of it. Kathleen Kennedy, you're a cunt. Entire Lucas story group, you're fucking cunts. I'm out. So, yeah, guys. If I saved you $15, I've done my job. So, The Last Jedi is an utter pile of shit. I'm out. Bye-bye.